The man in the following video was traveling on a narrow road in the middle of nowhere one night. Apparently this area is pretty notorious for scary incidents that have been reported over the last 100 years. The most common story, however, is the one about the lady in red, who can be seen ever so often, standing on the side of the road and looking at passing vehicles. It is said that she lost her life in this very area a long time ago, but that her spirit is still haunting these grounds.
Estoy grabando. Ahí está. Ahí está.
The man was pretty uneasy after noticing a figure in what appears to be a red dress. He states that all he wanted is to get home as soon as possible after noticing this thing on the side of the road. And I suppose it will remain a mystery if that was actually the lady in red or just a lost person. This is a pretty strange recording, which was submitted by Ronald, and apparently features two friends who were on their way to another friend, and they decided to travel on a supposedly very haunted road. It's not the first time that we hear about ghostly hitchhikers that like to catch free rides. Well, in the video, we see the driver hit the brakes for seemingly no reason. Based on his friend's reports, the driver stated to have seen somebody on the road and was afraid to hit that person. This is when things get really weird. After hearing a weird whisper from the back seat and turning around a second time, there seems to be a weird person sitting back there. Based on the passengers' reports, they did not see anything at the time, but the man recording also did not see any person standing on the road, like the driver had stated before, which makes this whole recording super strange in general. Did perhaps a ghost enter the vehicle, causing this whole scene? And why was the driver behaving so odd? There's a lot of questions for sure, and if it's not just a creepy skit, which could very well be, this video is one of the most mysterious ones tonight. The following recording was captured by traffic camera in Wessex, Britain, on which a pretty unusual creature was supposedly captured. It's not uncommon for the authorities to capture some wildlife ever so often. Today's video, though, was a bit different. We can see a busy road, and then a weird creature appearing from the left side out of the darkness and scampering over all 4 lanes of the highway within a few seconds. What's weird about this incident is the creature's legs that are bending inwards, making many believe that we are dealing with a rather inexplicable creature here. Some say that it even looks a little bit humanoid, causing some to believe that we are dealing with another shapeshifter here. Could this be? It's really hard to say what's going on for sure, but it makes one wonder. The following video is another one that I would categorize under the extremely weird encounter section. It was captured by two urban explorers who were investigating an abandoned building in which some mysterious happenings have been going on over the past years. What exactly is unknown, however. The investigation is cut relatively short though, when, based on their reports, they came across a scary looking person standing in an empty room and staring at them. They made it back to their car and got out of there as fast as they could. And then the following was captured. A scary video indeed. A violent stranger must have followed the two men back to their car and then was seemingly throwing a very heavy object at them as they make their escape. The question is, what was this person doing there? Was it maybe a homeless person that felt disturbed? This is one of the theories that most people have. Apparently the two men never returned to this location, and who can blame them really? Pretty dangerous encounter. I'm glad nobody got hurt. This video was shared by a driver who wasn't quite sure what to make of what he caught that night. He posted this encounter on the paranormal Reddit section and stated that he felt something rather inexplicable was going on that night. He was on his way home from work, and on this particular stretch of road where the incident was captured, ghostly sightings are nothing rare. Even some of his family members stated that they also have seen ghosts on the road. But of course nothing ever was documented on their part. What really struck the driver as odd is that his radio malfunctioned after he passed by a pale figure. What would a woman be doing there late at night? Not to mention that this is pretty dangerous, of course, standing so close to the road. Many people have the opinion that maybe in fact this was one of the several paranormal encounters that seem to take place here ever so often. Is this realistic in your opinion? Quite weird how the skin of this lady is a bit illuminated almost, just like her dress. And what about the radio interference? What a strange coincidence. The following clip was captured by two friends who were on a random stroll through a mountain region close to their hometown. And based on their reports, there's a legend of a lady in black that has been seen in this particular mountain region. She is described as a weeping spirit that lost her baby and that is still walking the roads and mountains in search of it. And the unsettling part is that the two friends think to maybe have come across her that day. It is a really odd recording to say the least. See how this woman is stretching her head towards the two passengers? The description reads that to the two friends her face looked pretty deformed, but they weren't sure if this was an actual spirit or just a creepy person scaring the drivers. Of course, it is impossible for us to say what exactly unfolded here. This was captured by a worker during a nightly shift. He was just moving some heavy machinery to a new construction site. He was by himself at the time and didn't see anything strange, but based on his reports, he heard a weird scream from the neighboring fields, which caused him to pull up the recording after his shift had ended, and he saw something quite unique. Some of his co-workers think that he might have captured a floating torso of a spirit, or maybe another form of creature. He was pretty baffled and had no explanation of what we are seeing here, especially since it just shows up for a few moments before it vanishes. Super weird. What do you think could have been captured here? How creepy. The following video was recorded by Glenn. He contacted me via Instagram and stated that one night he had captured a shape in the fields when driving around. He got out of his car, walked up to it, and it apparently looked like a man on fire. But he could see right through the shape. It was so bizarre that he started recording the incident.
It's really bright.
Is it moving towards us?
At first, one might think that this is just a regular fire, a bonfire perhaps, or the entrance to a cave. One might think that it looks like as if it's lifting its arm. What really stands out to me is the movement of the fire creature. I have no explanation of what we are seeing here. Maybe an interdimensional being, something paranormal on the side of the road. Quite eerie though, isn't it? The next clip was recorded by a driver one night who was on his way home and was taking a local highway. He didn't notice anything out of the ordinary up until this point, but when the incident occurred, he saw a dark flickering object just standing in the middle of the road. An object that had human-like features based on his reports, and it becomes quite apparent that even the other drivers saw it too. It is not that easy to make out, but you can actually see the outlines of a shadow person that just appears on the road, and the cars are doing their best to avoid impact, making them swivel quite a bit, especially the car on the left. What's weird is that the cars in front don't seem to react all that much. Maybe that's because this thing appears right after the cars in the front have passed it. The driver says that he did not see anything up until he was about to hit this thing, making him believe that it could have been an actual spirit that manifested. Could this be so? How else could anybody end up on the middle of the road like that? Strange. This video was captured by a man from the United States, and he was just getting ready to go to work one morning. He was parked in front of the house of an elderly lady that had passed just a few days prior. The neighbors were stating that ever since the lady had passed, there were some really awkward noises that could be heard, stemming from inside the abandoned home, as well as weird shadows that could be seen in the windows. Once the man noticed some odd movement this morning, he made sure that his camera inside the car would capture the rest of the inexplicable activity.
I think it's it, bro.
Besides the weird movement in the window, there is a terrifying floating shadow that appears right behind the gate. The unsettling part is that it was impossible for the man to see it with his own eyes. Only the camera in the car had captured it. The shadow is completely motionless, and the man has the unsettling feeling that it could belong to the lady that had passed. Maybe her wandering, or in this case floating spirit. The video was never explained, even to this day. This video was recorded by the dashcam of a man who was visiting the infamous Gettysburg Cemetery one night. There have been numerous creepy videos that freak people out over the years. In this case, the driver of the car was parked and didn't see anything himself at the time. His dashcam, however, kept recording, and after reviewing the footage, it turned out that he might not have been alone after all. To some, it looks like the spirit of a man is walking past the cannon to the right, a man that is wearing an old uniform. It is quite hard to come up with an explanation for this recording, if it wasn't staged, of course. Could this man capture a spirit, possibly reliving his days on the battlefield? What do you think?